Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? You all right?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. We have Christian, you here, and Fozia as well. Salam to the both of you. How are you? Okay?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so let us continue from where we left off. All right, so you didn't have much to do this week. I purposely gave you a bit of a break so you can catch up on all your tables and catch up on everything that we've taken. Was that a good little refresher week, a good little break?
Yeah, I kept checking. I thought something's gone wrong here because I kept checking the classroom and I was like, there's no homework. I don't want to wait till the last minute, but
Yeah,
you have,
no, I thought I'd give you some time this week just to consolidate what you've taken because you were mentioning um, the reviewing things and so on and so forth. So I thought I'd give you some time to read through stuff.
I think it was good, Ustad. I done all my previous homework, but I'm going to send it to you today because it's just on rough paper.
Okay,
So inshallah, I'll send you. I did, yeah, I catch up like a lot actually. Yeah.
okay, good, good. Yeah, so you had some time. So let's get started then today. That way we can get straight into the topic. So we've got a lot to do. In general, how are you finding the Arabic language? Not just specifically this course, but in general, your journey with Arabic. How are you finding it?
Go, Christian.
I so I used to be better at speaking it, and now I feel like I kind of regressed a bit at speaking it because I'm concentrating a lot on like the grammar. So I think
Yeah.
I need to find like a good medium in between the two. So I think
Okay.
but my main concern was basically understanding Quran. So this is obviously priority, and then being able to converse with people is additional, but not as much of a priority. But I feel like I need to
Hmm.
now like merge them together.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. So the conversation side does require a lot more time, right? And it's a slightly different approach. But you once you get this, you can focus on that as well. But I have to admit, if you want to really excel in the speaking, you need much more than an hour and a half a week. So you have to immerse yourself in the language. But at this stage, I mean, the understanding of it is vital. Then you can branch out. What about you, Fawzi? How's your journey been?
I think, Ustad, it's really interesting and I'm understanding everything because I'm looking back the videos and all. But again, I think when I'm making sentence, I'm finding like long sentences. I'm still finding really hard. Like I keep forgetting, like if it's inna, it has to be fatha here, things like that.
Hmm.
Um, I'm finding a bit difficult, but I think you working really hard on us, and you're teaching so well. Everything is there. Um, there is
Alhamdulillah.
no confusion about understanding. And yeah, I can see I have learned a lot in past 2 months. Like it's amazing. I think I'm not still doing very good, but I think it's a lot.
Okay,
Um,
Alhamdulillah.
understanding, yeah. Alhamdulillah. In Quran, I'm understanding also when inna comes, the next word is fatha and mudaf ilay, or it's a female, talking about female. So things like that. So it's really I'm enjoying.
Good, good. That's good feedback. Alhamdulillah.
But I can't make sentences. When I make sentences, I get panic. Like when I see say long sentences, I don't know.
That
It's
all of that experience is all normal and natural. Okay, so whenever you're learning anything new, it takes time. Even if you're learning how to drive, you're not gonna after a few lessons get 100% fully confident. So it takes time. But the point is, every time you come to class or every week, you're one step closer. That's the objective.
I think,
yeah, but when
Ustad, it's a testament to your teaching. Sorry, Fazit, to interrupt you.
no, go
Uh,
ahead, go.
it's a testament to your teaching that we are here every Tuesday morning without taking one session off. It's really easy to when it gets hard to just be like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. It's too hard, and that's kind of like the line in which people normally give up, which is why you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and
Yeah.
then you stop at the same point. But I
Yeah.
think like with your teaching and obviously us really want to excel just need
Yeah.
to that barrier. So we do really appreciate your teaching. It's fantastic.
Really
Jazakallah
amazing.
khair.
I don't know, Saad, how you learned this. You really teach very well.
Alhamdulillah. I think just, we share the same thing, which is the passion. So the passion to teach and the passion to learn, and the Arabic language is really, really beautiful language. So I think that's what drives us here. And when we first started the put out the post for the Arabic, there was one or two people that wanted to learn Arabic, and then from there it went. We started the course, and I remember the WhatsApp group. There was 97 people who wanted to start the course, right? And I know I've done this over the last 10 years, so I know exactly how it works. And now, out of those 97, I would say we've got about 18 or maybe 20 that are still there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that with most courses, that's what happens. So whenever you put out an advert for a course, you'll get a huge like people joining the WhatsApp group, and then it goes down, then it goes down, then it goes down, and then
Yeah.
by about 2 months' time, you truly get your real students.
Yeah. Well, instead, I'm a really difficult one to I'm just speaking about myself personally. I'm a really difficult one to teach because I struggle so much with languages. So I feel like if I was taught when I was younger, it would have been better. But obviously, I'm a revert. But definitely, like, I'm a
But
very
mashallah, Krisha,
difficult.
you're doing very,
You're
very
doing
well.
really
Mashallah.
well, Christia. And because of you,
Guys,
actually, I'm doing more hard work, honestly.
no. It's an illusion. It's an illusion, guys. I'm making you think that, but I am going to stick at it. So don't worry.
No,
But
you got no choice now, so you have
yeah,
to.
100%.
No, you have to,
Okay.
Christia, you have to be with me.
100%. Don't worry, Fazia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Ustad,
just
I
the
have a question.
sorry.
In which age did you learn Arabic, like from scratch?
I started. I did a few courses here and there. I would say about maybe 24, 25 little courses here. People were offering courses, and I was doing them, but I was never satisfied until I went to Egypt, where I fully immersed myself at the age of, I can't even remember, 28, 29. And that's when I fully went into Arabic. But prior to that, I was doing courses in different places, but I was never satisfied.
Yeah, Egypt is the famous place to go to learn Arabic. Everyone always goes to Egypt to learn.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the ability to just let go of everything here and go, then you can do that. But I also believe that if you find a good course here with a good teacher with good communication, then you can learn it here as well, a really good amount. One of the problems is trying to find a good teacher and trying to find a good course because there's a lot of courses out there.
No, we
Okay,
found you, which is fine. But I'm
alhamdulillah.
thinking like, I'm thinking like, how many years would it take me to
No,
go on a good level?
so I would say get rid of that idea from your head because there's no answer to it.
Hmm.
It's just continuous progress. I'm still studying. I still have my teachers that I sit with, and I still learn. And Arabic is something that I can. I've got books that I can pull down in Arabic and read them like I'm reading English. And then there are books that I pull down and read, and I have to keep every sentence. I've got to use a dictionary, and I'm struggling with a headache. So it's just the nature of the language. It's just like English. You can get a book and flow through it, or you get another book and it's just giving you a headache. So. Um, it's the nature of language. You're never gonna. No one can say I've studied the language. That's just arrogance. It's just it takes time.
Ustad,
But
I wanted to know, sometime when I'm struggling with something and I want to look back into the notes, obviously we don't have proper notes from you. We have to look into the video and find
Mhm.
out where did you say what. Is it possible to have like some notes, like about Inna? So there are notes of Inna. Is there any book you can recommend? Like we can look into it and find out, like Arabic grammar book maybe or something where it's going to be helpful to see it's just like dictionary, you just go on the page and see like definition of inna and then you grab it, because now at the moment when I'm confused I have to look into the video and find out what did you say at that time.
Yeah, no problem. Two things. There are plenty of those in Arabic, but that's not going to help you. There is one or two that I use in preparation for this course in English. I've forgotten where I put them, but I will. I will send you a link so you can have a look at them. Actually, let me. I think I might have one here.
Please, and maybe when you do class, maybe you can send us notes at the same
So
time.
if you want
No,
to
but
have a look, this is it's decent. I'm not gonna. I use this a lot in my in teaching. Um, but again, it's not the best. I will agree with that, but it is a good reference point if you want it. A lot of my course material does come from the structure of this book. So if you want to look at that.
Inshallah.
But
I
I am
think
in the
it's
middle of writing all of
Mhm.
my classes into note form. So the next time I teach this, I will actually hand out a book. So you'll have everything in front of you in note form. So that's my next project. So inshallah, I'll get
That
that
would
done.
be helpful, inshallah.
So your
Mhm.
next batch of students won't even have to make notes.
Yeah, so lazy, aren't they?
We joined at the wrong time, Fazil. We should join the next.
Well, I haven't written the book yet, so there's still some time to go for that. I need to get time to do that. All right, Khair, let's start then, inshallah. So as you can see on your board, the topic for today, we're continuing on from what we did last week, and that is al-mamnu'u min as-sarfi, which translates as the diptych, okay? If that helps. Okay, I'll put it here. So that is in your notes. Now, how do we recognize this word? Two signs to recognize this word. So I'm just reviewing what we've done last week, that these group of words, they can never take a tanween. Okay, so they will never have two dhammas, two fathas, two kasras. That will never happen. And these words never carry an alif lam. Those are the signs. And when we say al-mamnu'u min as-sarfi, what does that mean? Al-mamnu' means forbidden. Min means from. Sarf means change. So they're forbidden from change, but they're not totally forbidden, because we said a word that is totally free, okay, that is mu'rab, and a word that is totally rigid, that can't change at all, then that is what's known as a mabniyun. And then we have this, which is in the middle, which means basically that there's only one case that this word can't take. And that is when these group of words, and of course these are nouns, not verbs, these nouns, if they're in a state of jar, this is why it's important that you memorize these terminologies. When they're in a state of jar, which basically means when they've got to take a kasra, they don't visually take a kasra. Instead, they take a fatha. Okay? Instead, they take a fatha. So that's the lesson. So if we've got the word makkatu, that's our word, makkatu. Now you can see both signs are there. There's no tanween. There's no alif wal lam. Okay, fine. So these are odd words. So this is what's known al-mamnu' min as-sarf. So this word behaves normal. But if an amil, which we talked about last week, words that impact other words, if one of those was placed before it, if we wanted to say in Mecca, what logic dictates, what we've studied so far, would be that dhamma changes to a kasra. That's what we've studied so far. But these group of words, they don't do that. What they do is, instead of a kasra, it becomes a fatha. So with these words, if we have fi before it, we do not say fi makkata, sorry, we do not say fi makkati, we say fi makkata. And that's why it looks a little odd, but that is the case. So the word, and here is where you kind of got gets in your mind, the word is still in the case of jar, because there's fi. But the sign of it being jar is not a kasra, it is a fatha. Okay? So fi makkata. And that's the lesson. And the rest so what's going to follow now is just we're just going to organize our thoughts, but that's the main thing. Okay, the main thing is that you recognize al-mamnu' min as-sarf, a group of words that they do change, but it's in one case that they don't change. They're forbidden from taking a kasra. So when they have to take a kasra, they take a fatha. And then how do I recognize this word? Just get confused. Which one is it? Well, it's easy. Because this word will never have a tanween and will never have alif wal lam. And that's it. You got your word. And now we're just going to elaborate on that a little bit more. And then when we say change, and this is throughout our classes, when we're talking about change, we're talking about the last letter. We're not concerned with what happens, just the last letter. The word ending in U, R, E. That's all we're interested in. Okay, good. So that's done. Right,
So
okay.
that means in awamil, when we have awamil front of the it's not gonna go to kasra, it's gonna go to fatha.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, not jari. Even though like fi and there were a few more as well. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
في على عن فوق تحت anything that's going to make it take a kasra will no longer take kasra, will take fatha.
Only if it's a common or proper noun.
Common proper, it will always be a common proper noun.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there a lot of words in Quran, Ustad, or just few
Yeah,
words?
there are a few. There are a few, especially names of places and names of people, because that's what they are. So we're going to do that now. So these tiptoes or al-mamnu' min as-sarf. So as Krishay said, so let me expand on what you just said. Okay. They will either be proper nouns or common nouns. Okay, so these al-mamnu' min as-sarf. So these words, they will either be proper nouns or common nouns. So we've got to do a bit of English here as well. So proper nouns are names of people and places. John, Ahmed, London, yeah, Mecca. Names of people or names of places. I'll put that here as well, yeah. So names of people and places. Okay. And then common nouns are just names of things or categories of things. Okay, we'll come to that next. So let's elaborate then first on the proper nouns. So I'm gonna go into this one. Okay. So these nouns, al-mamnu' min as-sarf, they're proper nouns, like the word Mecca, Mekkatu. Okay, that's a name of a place. Now, this easy question: is this ma'rifa or is this nakira? Meaning, is it known or unknown?
Is it known or unknown?
So is it ma'rifa or nakira? Is it something that is known? So
He said
with
no.
the or a? Sorry, Fawzia?
It is known.
Yes, very good. So you can make a note of that all proper nouns by default they are ma'rifa, because how many Meccas do you know?
Mm.
You know? So there's only one Mecca. So there's no need to say al Mecca too, because it's already known. That's why our names, all of our names, they don't start with al. They
So
are
that's definite by default. Okay.
by default, yeah. They're definite by default. So that's why you don't need alif lam on. You don't say al Mecca, al London, al New York. You don't need to say that because it's already definite. But whereas if I had, for example, a pen, qalamun, then I want to say the pen. In order to make that definite, I have to say al qalamu, because now I am looking at a bunch of pens and I'm talking specifically about that specific one.
Mhm.
Okay, but where it comes to names, like your name or Mecca and so on and so forth, they're already definite. So if I wanted to produce a sentence with these words, so for example, Mecca, um, how would you translate that sentence? What does the word Madinatun mean?
Medina. Oh,
Medina
it's a
is
town.
Yeah, Medina means a town or a city.
Mm.
So then how would you translate that?
But Medina also called like not Medina. I think people call Medina a city as well,
Yeah, so
right?
here we're going
So
with
the
the
city
general
of
rule.
Makkah.
So Mecca
Is a city.
is a city, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's where I get confused.
Okay.
It's a noun sentence, is it?
Yeah, just look at the first word of the sentence. So what's the first word in the sentence?
It's a
Is it
noun.
Makkah?
So it's a
It's
noun
a
sentence.
mubtada. It's a mubtada and khabar.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. It's very simple to work out whether you got a sentence which is ismiya or fi'liya, noun or verb. Just look at the first word. If the first word is a fi'l, meaning the first word is a verb, it's a verb sentence. Anything other than that, it's a noun sentence. Very
Mm.
easy. Okay,
Jazakallah.
good. So, so that's one example, and then you can add here the example as well that if we put a harf jar before it, في مكة. We won't say في مكة. So in Mecca. And from our last week class, we said that there's only 2 times a word falls into jar, meaning takes kasra. That's if it's got a harf jar before it, or
Mudaf.
if it's mudaf ilayh. Exactly. So let's do an example of that. If I say رجال مكة, yeah, رجال مكة. Right. So رجال مكة مسلمون. How would you translate that?
Rijal are means men.
Of Makkah, Muslim.
The
Yeah.
man of Makkah.
Good. So what kind of construct is this?
It's mudaf ilayh.
Yeah, that's right. Well done. Okay, mudaf ilay. Now Makkata is mudaf ilay, but your mind is panicking, thinking, "Where's the kasra?" But remember, I said they can't take it, so that's why this looks a little odd, and you got to think just a little bit more, and you'll get it. So this is the men of Mecca are Muslims.
You wouldn't put al-rijal, rijalu.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put an alif.
No, you wouldn't, because mudaf. Remember, in the mudaf we never write al. So if you're gonna say, for example, Kitab al-Talib, if you were to say Kitab al-Talib, remember I said that you could never say
Oh,
al-Kitab.
because the alif lam is on Talib, so there's only one.
That's
But
right.
because Makkah is okay, sorry, I'm thinking out loud. But because Makkah is definite, even though there's no alif lam visible,
Correct.
because Makkah is that right?
100% correct.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so that's why I showed you, just wanted to show you that the word Mecca by default is ma'rifah. It's already the.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need alif wal lam. But whereas Talib, if
No,
you don't have,
sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I have a just question because it came to mudaf ilayh. I'm forgetting. In mudaf like rijalu as it is dhamma at the end. It can be fatha as well, but it never kasra, is it?
no, here Rijal is a normal word. Rijal is not mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay, so Rijal could take Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra, depending on what's before it. At the moment, there's
Oh
nothing
yeah,
before it,
it
so it's
goes
Dhamma.
and that's going to take kasra. Okay.
Yeah. So Rijal, the word Rijal is not Mamnu' min as-sarf. It's not a proper noun. So it's not a name. Rijal means men. It's not a name. Makkah is the proper noun.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that part done. We'll solidify it with examples. So now those are examples with proper nouns. Now when it comes to the common nouns, this one just a little bit, we've got to pay a little bit more attention. So this is names of things. Okay, so rather than specific things, they're just names of things, or you can say classes of things. Right. So when you've got these names of things, these words, because they're not proper names, they can be ma'rifa and they can be nakira. Ma'rifa meaning definite, nakira meaning indefinite. And the way to make these words ma'rifa, we do have to put alif or lam before them. And if they remain nakira, there is no alif or lam before them. Unlike the
And
proper
there is tanween. Is that tanween then afterwards?
if it is ma'rifa. So let me give you an example. So if I said هذه هذه صحراء واسعة واسعة. Okay. Now, the word here that is mamnu' min as-sarf is sahra'u. You can see that clearly because there's no alif wal lam and there is no tanween. The signs are there. Both signs are there. Okay. And the word wasi'atun, which means wide, is describing Sahara. Sahara is a female word. Okay, which means desert. So this would translate as this is a wide desert. Okay, so the word Sahara here is your word which is al-mamnu' min as-sarf.
How
So
would you
this
say
is
wide?
yeah, this is a wide desert. So notice we said a. Sorry,
Right.
yeah.
Sorry, you just kind of said it with that. So I was going to say, how do you say? So that says this is a wide desert, and in my head I was like, this desert is wide. But I
This
had it a bit different in my head, but
yeah,
because
the way you got to look at that is the word Sahara. Is it matching with هذه or is it matching with wasi'atun? Yeah, so you just then you can pair it up. So are we saying this desert is wide or this is a wide desert? So because we see Sahara wasi'atun, those two are agreeing. We know it's now an adjective. Okay, so this is a wide desert. Now, what if I want to say this is the wide desert? Okay, so here we say هذه, and now we have to introduce the alif lam. Yeah. So this is the wide desert. So a question here now. In this first sentence where the arrow is, well, actually, let me point the arrow to the word, the correct word. So in this first sentence, the word sahra'u, okay, the word sahra'u is al-mamnu'u min as-sarf because it fits our criteria. No alif wal lam and no tanween. In the second sentence, this word is normal. It is not mamnu' min as-sarf anymore because it's got the alif wal lam. Okay.
Okay, common noun. Okay.
Mm.
So in common noun, al has to be there if we want to make it definite.
It's just normal, the normal way you do it. The only thing here that you're learning is that with these common nouns, if they are nakira, then they are mamnu' min as-sarf. If they got alif wal lam, they're just a normal word.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they're just a normal word. Okay, make a note of that.
Sorry, Ustad, if this word Sahrao comes with fi,
Yeah,
it's not gonna be Sahrai then.
yeah, that's what I'm coming to next, which you're correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, got that?
Alhamdulillah.
Right. So based upon that, then, in one looking at this, that one of them was ma'rifa, one of them was nakira, definite, indefinite. Yeah. So with the ma'rifa, we had as-sahra'u. Yeah. And with the nakira, we had sahra'u. Okay. Those are the two differences. Now, just as you said, Fawzia, that if we add a harf jar, if we say in the desert, and we have the alif wal lam there, we would say fi sahra'i,
Logical, yeah.
because it's behaving normal. Yeah, it's behaving normal. But if I want to say in a desert, we say fi, fi sahra'a. Okay, we would do that. That's basically the lesson. So here, the word is al-mamnu'u min as-sarf. And here, it's just normal. Okay?
Mhm. Is it like Ustad? Jahannam word is like, is it mamnu min surf
Yeah,
because it comes always Jahannama, not
yeah,
Jahannam.
yeah. Correct. Correct. Right. So, Krisha, you got that?
Yeah, I'm digesting it.
Okay, good, good. So far what we've taken from this group of words that al-mamnu' min as-sarf is that there's a group of words that don't have alif wal lam and they don't have tanween. And they're nouns. And when they're supposed to be or when they are in a state of jar, they're supposed to take a kasra, they take a fatha. And we said this applies to all proper nouns. So that's easy. We've done with that, finished. When it comes to the common nouns, if they are ma'rifah, meaning alif wal lam, then it doesn't apply. They are normal. But if they don't have the alif wal lam, then they are mamnu' min as-sarf, meaning they will not take a kasra, they will take a fatha. Now, before we finish this subject, because that's all there is really, the last part is when a common noun, okay, when a common noun, dipto, so mamnu' min as-sarf, okay, is in a definite إضافة. Okay. So we've got a common noun, mamnu' min as-sarf, and it's inside a definite. It no longer behaves like a mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay. So, with an example that'll come clear. So we've got a common noun, like let's say the word sahra. Here, clearly you can tell that this is a diptych. This is mamnu' min as-sarf because this is nakira. Now, what happens if I put this word into an idafa? Okay, I put it into an idafa, but the idafa itself is going to be ma'rifa. So, for example, if I give you a full sentence, huwa fi sahra. At the moment, there's no idafa yet. So if I was to stop the sentence here, I would say huwa fi sahra. Okay. Huwa fi sahra. That's what I would do if I stop the sentence there. But let me put that into an idafa. He is in the desert of Iraq. Okay. Now, you've got an idafa. Okay, you got an idafa. Now, this idafa that you see in front of you, is it ma'rifa or nakira? Is it a definite idafa or indefinite idafa?
Definite,
Definite, good. And how did you know that?
because of that al-Iraq.
Yeah, good. Because of al-Iraq. So this is a definite idafa. That's why the word Sahra is also definite. Okay, the word Sahra is also definite. Even though there's no alif or lam, it's definite. So being definite means there's no longer a mamnu' min as-sarf word. It is a normal word. So we would say huwa fi sahra al-Iraq. Okay, because it is not mamnu' min as-sarf.
So, Ustad, if here come Makkah, instead of that, that is gonna come Makkati as well.
It'll be Makkati as well.
Okay.
No, sorry, no, Makkah would not. Makkah is a proper noun.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No,
It's a common noun.
no. All right, good. So that's it. That's all there is. And just bear this in mind what we've taken, and with practice, this will become easier. It does take time to adjust to the al-mamnu' min as-sarf. I do appreciate that, just because it's an odd setup, but with practice, it'll come easier. So don't worry. Now we're going to move on to something new. So draw a line there. Okay, we come to something new. So we are going to come to a new topic, case, which is basically your i'rab, and asma. Okay, asma'un mu'talatun. Okay, weak nouns. All right, good. So we're introducing something new here. Okay, we're introducing something new here, which is the concept of weak. What does it mean that something is weak? Now, words in Arabic, nouns and verbs, but we're going to do nouns first. They can be either strong or they can be weak. Okay, they can be either strong and they can be weak. Now, what makes a word weak? What makes a word weak is if one of the three root letters of that word are weak. Then you're going to ask, what are those? There are three weak letters in Arabic. Waw, alif, and ya. These are three weak letters. They can't always carry their weight. That's why they change. So make a note of that. And if you struggle to memorize these three, what I did when I was learning these three was sometimes you forget waw, alif, ya. Oh, you might remember it, no problem. But if you actually say those three letters together, it almost produces the sound Y. That was just the way I memorized it. It's up to you how you want to memorize it. So Y, yeah, waw, alif, ya, Y. So if a word in its root has one of these three letters, this word is considered to be weak. Okay, so our task for today is to look at weak nouns, and inshallah, if we finish that, then look at weak verbs. Okay,
Can we have example?
yeah, I'm coming to that. I just want you to write that down first. Okay, so let's continue. Let's have a look. So a word which is considered to be weak, I'm sticking to nouns here, not giving you verbs. For example, the word da'watan. Da'wa is an invitation, and the root letter here is dal, ain, and waw. Okay, that's an example. Right, another one. If we use that same one, somebody who calls to Islam is called a da'i. Okay, and we say da'in. Here, you've only got a dal and a ain. You can't see any other letter. But I know it's coming from the same root, so it's da, ain, waw. How I know that, I will tell you soon. But just to show you, this is an impact of a weak letter. Okay. So these weak letters can either go missing, can either be morphed into another letter for ease of reciting. For example, you have the word sa'il. Sa'ala sa'ilun bi'adhabin waqi'. In the Quran, sa'ilun. Okay, you have that word. Actually, that's leave that word out. There's something else here. So, for example, take the word قائل. That's a better word. Okay, قائل. قال يقول قائل. قائل is a speaker. Now, how do you know what the three root letters are there? If you look at it like that, you will never get it. You will never be able to guess the three root letters. You'll guess the first one, which is qaf. You'll guess the last, which is lam. But what is in the middle? You can use guesswork, which is fine. You'll get there. It's clearly a weak word. So it could be a waw, it could be an alif, or it could be a ya. You've got 1 in 3 chances. I will help you out because we haven't covered it yet, but the root letter here is waw. So if you wanted to find that word in the dictionary, you go qaf, waw, lam, and you will find it. Otherwise, you will not be able to work it out purely by looking at the word. So these are examples of words that consist of weak letters, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start off with nouns. Okay, we're going to start off with nouns. The first type of nouns. Let me actually, I think I gave you a table on this. Let me show you the table. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So the first type of words in the nouns there are two. Right. So it's in Google Classroom, so you can actually see it. Now here's a group of word that is considered to be weak, and these are known as al-maqsur, which literally translates as the shortened. Now with these, you can see that they end in an alif. These words, they end in an alif. Yeah, the word we're looking at here is ma'an. The word ma'na. Okay, so ma'nan, which means meaning. Okay, so you can see that there is a group of words that are called maqsur. They are maqsur. Why? Because they end in alif. Now, what's the significance of the fact that they end in alif? Is that an alif, it can't carry any harakats. So if you have an alif, you got an alif, let me do it. If you got an alif, and then put a dhamma on it, try to say that. You can't. If you take the dhamma off and try to put a kasra on it, try to say that, you can't. Okay, you can't. And likewise, if you put fatha on it, you can't. So the alif is visible. We can see it on the word, but we can't put a fatha or a dhamma or a kasra on it. Okay, we can't put, sorry, my mistake. If you have an alif, yeah, there we go. If you have an alif, you can put a fatha on it because it's a sound, but you can't put kasra or dhamma on it. Now, if you look in the table, if you look in the rough case, هذا معنى صحيح. Okay, so هذا معنى. So you're making the nun sound on the noon. You're not doing it on the alif. هذا معنى صحيح. But this word معنى is in a state of rafa'. It is marfu', which means what's the ending of that word? It's invisible, but what's supposed to be there?
Kasra.
That's Fatha. Sorry, Rafa.
So
Dhamma.
what is rafa'? What if a word is rafa', what does it end in? So if a word is marfu' or a word is in a state of rafa', is the ending an u or e?
U.
U. Okay. So remember that as well. I'm gonna write it here for now. But if a word is in a state of rafa', it has a dhamma. Rafa'. Now that's important because the word ma'nan here, what is that? Is that the mubtada? Is that the khabar? Is that an adjective? Is that mudaf? Is it mudaf? We don't know. You can't tell. So you need to know the context. هذا معنى صحيح. Okay. So first and foremost, I know that the word ma'nan doesn't have alif wal lam, so it's not ma'rifa. That helps. Okay. So it'd say this is, the word ma'nan means meaning. So this is a correct meaning. So the word sahihun is an adjective. Okay. And then that same word, if you put alif wal lam onto it, so you can see here al-ma'na, if you put alif wal lam onto it, هذا المعنى الصحيح. Again, al-ma'na, that word here, al-ma'na, is in a state of rafa', but you can't see the dhamma. Okay, you cannot see the dhamma. So the word is marfu', but you can't see them. And the reason for that, it's not because it's mamnu' min as-sarf, it's not because it's mabni, it's simply because we've got a weak letter, and that weak letter doesn't carry any sound. You can't do anything. So these are a special group of words known as maqsoor. A word that ends in an alif is known as a maqsoor. Okay, now, so that's that. Now, when it comes to,
So,
yeah,
Ustad, when we have like three root letters, I'm just trying to understand you. When we have three root letters, so if the one is weak, which is alif waw ya, then it's always gonna have just fatha, not
that's
not dhamma and not kasra.
that's just one option. That's one option. Yeah, this is what we've seen so far. So we've got maqsoor. So if you want to look at it like this, a word which is maqsoor is a word that ends in alif.
Oh, okay.
If you
Not
want to
waw
make
and
it
ya
easy.
at the moment. Okay.
Sorry?
It's just with alif you haven't done with waw and ya.
No. This is just so we're going step by step. So maqsoor is the one with alif.
Alif, okay.
Okay. Now, so if the word is nakira ma'nan, if it's ma'rifa al-ma'na, but in either case you cannot see a dhamma, you cannot see a fatha, and you cannot see a kasra, so you don't know. Yeah. But the word after it, al-sahihu, is giving it away. The same in the nasb case, fahima ma'nan sahihan. So he understood the correct meaning. Again, the word ma'nan doesn't change, it looks the same. If you put alif wal lam onto it, fahima al-ma'na as-sahiha. The adjective is giving it away. In the jar case, we got a B. But look at the word is still the same. بمعنى صحيح. Okay. بالمعنى الصحيح. Okay. Just keep that in your notes. Yeah, keep it in your notes, and we will practice that. For now, all I want you to know is that there are nouns that end in alif, and if they end in alif, you can't see the fatha dhamma kasra on them simply because because the alif is weak and can't carry a sound. Okay. So that those words in nakira, they will always be ma'nan, and in the ma'rifah there will be al-ma'na. So the only way to understand that word is by the context. Okay.
Just goes back to you can't understand the sentence till you read the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Now, to make things a little bit more complicated, what if you have this maqsoor, but this word which is maqsoor is a name, is a proper name? What would that mean?
No, it's some
So we've got a word.
definite.
But you won't see
Yeah.
alif lam.
Yeah. What did we say about proper nouns previously at the beginning of the class? Proper nouns are diptotes, mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay. So proper nouns are diptotes, mamnu' min as-sarf. So they can't take a kasra, right? But here you can't see it anyway. So it's a redundant point, but still, they can't take kasra, they take a fatha. So it's just an imaginary thing. Like the name Musa. Now, what does Musa end in?
Alif.
So what type of word is this?
Uh,
The one surf one.
it's a we.
Mamnu in a surf.
So firstly, the alif shows us that it's maqsoor
Oh, al-Maqsoor.
because it ends in an alif. And then the very fact that it's a noun, proper noun, it's a name of a person, tells us it's also mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay, which gets very tricky, doesn't it? But these are very few, but we want to cover everything. Okay. Now, I think I showed you this ayah before, but we'll do it again. So in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, كلم الله موسى تكليما. So the word كلم means to speak. Now, the word Allah, this is mu'rab, it's a normal word. Yeah, so the ending of it is normal. Fatha Dhamma, that's no problem, that's fine. But the word Musa is number one, maqsoor, and number two, mamnu' min as-sarf. Double trouble. So how do we understand that? Is the word Musa marfu', mansub, majroor, majzoom from the four states? It's not going to be majzoom because we said nouns are not majzoom, so that's out the window. Is it marfu', is it mansub, or is it majroor? That's a very, very important question to answer. And your answer to that question could impact your aqidah. What does the dhamma indicate? If you got a dhamma in terms of meaning, what does it mean?
It's some
Okay, more than that, what does it mean? You've done this in your homework, so you know the answer to this. I'm not tricking you. So if you've got a verb like kalama, to speak, and then you got a word next to it that ends in the dhamma, what does that tell you?
Oh, I know.
Sorry?
Oh, I think I got it wrong. The doer.
The
I was
doer.
gonna say the possessor because I know what it means, but
Yeah, no, it's the doer. Remember, when we've got any verb and we want to know who's doing that, is the one with the dhamma. The word that's in a state of rafa' is the doer.
that's it.
Okay, that's how we know.
Okay.
But then the question arises, so Allah is doing
I
the talk, is doing the act of speaking. So then we've got the word Musa. Now Musa ends in alif, which means it does not display its case. There could be a fatha there could be a dhamma there could be a kasra there. But just looking at the ayah, what does the context tell you? What is the imaginary haraka? What's the case?
imaginary haraka.
What is the case of this word? Is it so the dua? What's the other thing?
Mafulun bihi?
Maf'ulun bihi, very good. Which in English is what?
Object.
Object, very good. Okay, is the object. So Allah is talking to Musa. Okay, Allah is talking to Musa. That's what the verse says. Yeah, really important. Really, really important. Why is that important? Because the word Allahu is in a state of rafa', and the word Musa is in a state of nasb, meaning there is an imaginary fatha there. But we can't write the fatha because it's on an alif. There's no way to pronounce it. So the only way we work out that Musa is nasb is through context. Okay, good. And that's why some people historically,
What's takliman?
it means speaking.
So you've got
So we haven't covered this type of word yet. We'll come to that later on in the course, but it just serves as emphasis of kallama, because if you do your form 2 table of kallama, what is it? Kallama yukallimu fahuwa mukallimun. Kullima yukallamu fahuwa mukallamun. And then the masdar is what? What's the verbal noun?
Kalaman, kalamatan.
speaking.
Which is, so what is it? So the table I gave you was allama yuallimu,
Oh,
and what?
sorry.
Teaching.
It's iklaman.
No, that's form 4.
Ta'liman. So I don't know.
Exactly. So
Something.
form 2, ta'aliman, right? In the same way, kallama would become takliman,
Liman. Okay.
which is what you got in front of you. Okay, so so what that does, it just serves as emphasis to show that that's definitely happened. Okay, my point being, hopefully you're with me, is that the dhamma here shows us the dua, and there's nothing on the word Musa, but the Musa is the object because of context. Okay, because of context. Some people who couldn't quite grasp the fact that Allah spoke to Musa, they said that's not possible that Allah spoke to Musa. So what did they do? How did they get away from that? Which of course is wrong, but just to show you. They said the verse, it reads as كلم الله Musa taklima. Now tell me what happens here. If you say that, what ends up happening?
So Musa will become doer. Kalamallah. Allah will become object. Yeah. So like
Musa spoke to Allah.
Exactly. This would then mean that Musa
Musa
spoke to Allah. The meaning has changed.
Yeah.
Because the doer always has to have a dhamma.
Very good. So your understanding of Fatha Dhamma, if you don't get it right, you can completely change the meaning of the ayah. Okay? So Allahu, Allah. The who is the doer, the ha is the object. Okay, you should know that by now. We've done plenty of examples. Good. So basically the point here, the lesson here is that we've got a group of words that are known as maqsoor, and they end in an alif, and you can't tell their case. Yeah, you can't tell their case until you look at what's before, until you look at the context. Hopefully that point is clear. Right. Then that was the first group of words. Right. Then we come to the next group of words. The next group of words, these are known as al-manqus. Okay, they're known as al-manqus. And what does the word manqus mean? The reduced. Okay. Now what do we mean that a word is reduced? So words like madin, darin, wadin, these are all real words.
So yeah, there's 2 instead of 3 root letters, or so it would seem.
So it seems that you will never find a word with 2 root letters. That's impossible.
But as in the third one is hidden.
Exactly. The third one is missing. So, Christian, just before I even explain, the third one is missing. What's the possibility of that of those three? What could it be? What letter
It
could possibly be
it
missing?
could either be wow, alif, or yeah.
Alhamdulillah. There you go. Okay. So if let's say you didn't fully understand the class today and you understood that point, then you've understood the class.
That's me.
Yeah, that then you understood the class. Now, the word, let's take this one here, wadin, for example. Okay. So the actual word, if we bring in the full word, is wa. So the root letter for this one is a ya. So wadiyun. Okay. That's the actual wadiyun.
Is there any way to know which out of the three it would be, or do you just literally need to go into the dictionary and find the three possibilities, or where it would go?
Yeah, there is. We will come to that as well. There are ways to kind of work things out. Okay. So the word actually is wadiyun. But if you say that, it gets a bit of a tongue twister. Wadiyun, wadiyun, wadiyun. It gets a bit of a tongue twister. So the Arabs, they don't like things that are just difficult on the tongue. So because it's a weak letter and it's just adding trouble to the tongue, they say this ya, get rid of it. Yeah, there's no need for it. It's just a tongue twister. So they remove that and they end up putting a tanween at the end of the dal. It becomes wadin. Okay, it becomes wadin. Okay.
What is
Now,
Wadi mean, sister?
a valley.
So why is not Wadun like with Tanween?
When you so the word wadiyun. Yeah, try to say that.
Wad.
Wadiyun. Wadiyun. It's you're going from kasra going up to raf. If when you're speaking in a sentence, it's gonna slow you down. It's just difficult on the tongue. Wadiyun, wadiyun. They don't like that, so they remove the yun at the end. Is leave wadin.
Mm.
Yeah, for the sake of ease of talking and reciting, they remove the weak letter. It removes the wadin. But so my point here is that how do I know that this is manqus, that a letter has been removed because it's wadin? We've added an extra kasra there that's an indicator that there was a letter there that was removed. Now, naturally, if you remove the last letter, are you going to be able to see the case of the word? Are you going to be able to see whether it's rafa' and nasb or jar? You're not, because the letter is not there, so you can't see what's happening. So these words are known as manqus. Again, you have to understand them from context. Okay, so if you look here in the box of rafa', هذا واد جميل. So what would that would actually say if we didn't take the weak letter off? It'd be هذا وادي جميل. Okay, but they don't like that weak letter, so it becomes هذا واد جميل. So that word wadin, I know it looks a bit strange, but that's actually in a state of rafa'.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually in a state of rafa'. And in the ma'rifa case, when we bring the alif,
Basically, it was meant to match with Jamilun,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. And then when you got the ma'rifa case with alif wal lam, the ya comes back. Yeah, the ya comes back, but still you can't say oo. So هذا وادي الجميل.
It's coming back.
The ya.
Oh yeah, it's coming back, but not Kasra. Oh, sorry, not Rafa.
Not dhamma, because you can't put dhamma on the ya. So multiple problems. Okay, as I said right now, if the you're unable to formulate these words, don't worry. At this stage, it's all about understanding. That when you're going to be reading and you see the word wadin, you can automatically say, yes, I remember that. That was in class. And then you go back to and you work it out. What is it wadin? So you can work it out. So it will come with time, but now it's about comprehension. In the nasb case, okay, in the nasb case, you can actually see the fatha there because ya can take fatha. So dakhala wadiyan jamilan. So there's behaving normally. Okay, and even with the ma'rifa case, dakhala al-wadiya al-jamila. Okay, and then in the jar case, again it disappears. Fi wadin jamilin. Now don't think that the word wadin, the din at the end is what's made it jar. There's actually it's wadiyin. Yeah, if you were to say it fully. Likewise, fil wadi al-jamil. Okay, good. I know that's a bit tricky. I appreciate that, but just write it down.
Yeah.
No problem, Dory. So, in short, we've got two nouns that are weak. What's the first one called?
Weak nouns.
Yeah, so from the nouns, we said there are two types of nouns that are weak. I'm going to summarize. So the first was al-maqsoor.
Oh, one is the shortened,
Yeah, the
One
shortened.
second.
and one is the reduced.
And what's the example of that? Let's say Musa to make it easy. Okay? And then we've got the next one is al-manqus, which is
The reduced.
reduced. And we can use that as an example as wadin. That's it. End of story. If you got that, you got everything. Okay? Now let's move over to verbs. What's the time? Alhamdulillah, we got some time. Now we move over to verbs. Okay, so we're going to look at case and af'al. Okay, af'al. Okay, good. Right. Verbs, as you know, we've looked at verbs in the past tense, and then we've got the present tense, and you've memorized your tables. The past tense, these words are all mabni, which means they don't change, so we don't need to look at that, very easy. The present tense verbs, these are mu'rab, meaning they change, so that's what we're going to be looking at now. Meaning to say that the past tense, kataba, kataba, katabu, katabat, katabata, katabna, katabta, katabtuma, katabtum, katabti, katabtuma, katabtuna, katabtu, katabna, they will always be like that. Nothing changes them. Okay, they're always fixed like that. But the present tense words, the table I've given you, yaktubu, yaktubani, yaktubuna. Yeah, taktubu, taktubani, taktubuna, or taktubna. So those words they will change, and I'm going to show you how they will change. So these words, these present tense verbs, they could be raf, they could be nasb, and they could also be jazm. The rough case we have done already. What you memorized is the rough case. So we've done 1 out of 3. Okay, we've done 1 out of 3. So the table you've memorized of yaktubu, yaktubani, yaktubuna, that whole table you've memorized, that is the rough case. That's done. Now, let's look at the nasb case. Okay, let's look at the nasb case. In order for a word to go into nasb, something has to happen. There has to be something that comes before it. Okay, there has to be an amil. So the amil that makes a fi'l mudari become mansub or nasb is the word lan, which basically means will not. You're negating a word in the future. I'm gonna at the moment I'm writing, and when I give you the examples, it become clear. So let's say, for example, we've got the word yaktubu. Now, what does that mean?
He writes.
He writes. Okay. Now, what if I want to say he will not write?
What's the negation?
So learn.
So I've got the word yaktubu, and I want to say he will not write. So I'm negating in the future. The way to do that is you use the word lan. Just put the word lan before it.
Oh,
And that's in the Quran. The Quran's full of that. You put a lan before it. Now, not just that, but lan also takes the dhamma at the end of the bu and does what?
Yaktuba.
Yeah,
The yaktuba.
that's right. Okay, becomes lan yaktuba. Okay, good. Now, how do we say they wrote?
yaktubuna.
Very good. Yaktubuna. They wrote. Now, what if I say they will not write?
Lan yak. The same.
Good. So you do lan, but now we got a problem.
We already got
Mm.
there.
The noon's already got fatha there. What am I going to do now? How am I going to let people know that it's not right? I need a sign. I need an indicator. So the sign of the indicator for the duals and the plurals is say bye bye to the noon.
Oh,
Yeah, the noon disappears, and you'll end up with the alif there. Okay, that's just so the noon drops.
oh,
Okay,
yaktubani, yaktubuna.
and that's it. That's the lesson. Okay, so the way we want to negate a verb in the future is by using lan, and then if it's singular we put a fatha, and if it's dual or plural we remove the noon.
So, like in yaktubani, we say yaktuba.
Exactly. So here's a table that I need you to get familiar with. I've done it for you. I'll put lan there in front of every word. Now, if you look at it, pay attention. You've got lan, and then look in the singular lan yaktuba. Can you see that?
Mm.
And then when you come to the dual, lan yaktuba, the noon has gone. And then in the plural, lan, where it's meant to be yaktubuna, now is yaktubu. Then female, lan taktuba. And in the dual, lan taktuba. Yeah? Make sure you elongate that, otherwise it sounds the same. So, lan taktuba, the noon has gone. So if you see the word and the noon has gone on a verb, something's happening. Now, I want you to make a note of this next word. The next one is lan, but yaktubna, the noon doesn't drop. So here you can make a note that this word doesn't change. Okay, the female plural doesn't change. So it would all lan yaktubna. The noon there doesn't change.
So there's no like real rule as to, because in the you will never write feminine. That's also like that's got a ya at the end.
You will never write. Which one? Which
Number
one?
10.
Okay, yeah, I'm coming to that. Okay, so let's do that. So then let's go back to now. Let's go second person male. لن تكتبا. Singular got fatha. The dual لن تكتبا. Noon is gone. Then the male plural لن تكتبوا. The noon is gone. So that's all in line. Now, when we come to the female, if you're talking to a female, and I say to you, you will never write. Yeah, you will never write. لن تكتبي. Then there was a noon there before.
تكتبين.
Before was تكتبين. So that's actually following the rule. So that's fine.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and then number 11, you've got لن. Again, the noon is gone.
تكتباني.
Okay, and then here comes another odd one, which is again the female plural. لن تكتبن. It doesn't change.
Why? Why don't they change?
I don't know. Female plurals give us problems.
In life.
No,
can't-
female rulers are original, Ustad.
I
Make
can't say that.
problem.
I can only talk about the Arabic language. You can express anything else.
Male change, female don't change, Ustad.
The female plural is a problem. Okay, so with the لن يكتبن and لن تكتبن, those two don't change. Everything else follows a rule. Now, if you want to say I will not write, لن أكتب. We don't write لن نكتب. So everything follows the rule. So crucial, everything does follow the rule. In the
Yeah,
singular fatha, in the dual and plural, lose of noon. Only two places where it doesn't is in the female plural. That's it. لن يكتب لن يكتبن لن تكتبن.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yep.
think this is easy to memorize, inshallah.
Father,
it's
don't
easy.
speak too soon.
It's easy. It is easy, and you will find this. You find these verses. You find verses in the Quran. For example, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, "Wa inna lan." Yeah, you'll see this in the Quran. Lan nadkhulha nadkhulha. Okay. So this is a verse from the Quran. Allah says, "Inna lan nadkhula." Sorry, my mistake. Lan khula. So here we got the word nadkhul, noon, ending in the lam. So the ends in a fatha. So inna lan nadkhulaha. And we shall never enter it.
So if Lan wasn't there, what should it have been?
What would it be? If you look at this word here, lan naktuba. If there was no lan there, what would it be?
No.
Yeah, naktubu. Okay, it would be naktubu.
Nadkhulu.
Nadkhulu. Yeah, but obviously that's not the ayah. But here, so lan naktuba. Right. Now, one more thing before we go. Okay, I want to finish this off as well. Is that the last case for today, inshallah, is the fi'l mudari, the present tense word. Just like with lan, so it's the exact same thing as lan. Okay, exact same thing as lan. The verb can also be majzoom. So we said there could be mansoob. Yeah, there could be mansoob. Now there can also be majzoom. Majzoom means carrying a sukun. Now what is the amil? What is the amil that makes a verb go into jazm? And that is the word lam. You'll see that in the Quran very often. And what does lam mean? Lam is a negation in the past. Yeah, did not. So now we're not negating in the future, we're negating in the past.
Like lam yakun alladhina.
Exactly. So if we take the word yaktubu again, yeah, which means he writes, and I want to say he did not write. I have to introduce the lam and use the same word, yak, to bu, but I need to make one change. And the change is what? Get rid of that dhamma and put a sukun there. So it
Yeah.
becomes lam yaktub. He did not write. In the same way, if we want to say they wrote, so yaktubun, which means they are writing. And if I want to say they did not write, yeah,
Lam
they,
yaktubun.
very good. We do the exact same thing. Lam yaktubu. The noon has gone. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do this here, because you just done the nasb. So this is jazm, which means lam yaktubu, he did not write. So in the future is lan, and it makes it nasb. In the past it's lam, and it makes it majzum. Okay, to finish that off.
They just these two words, Saad, nothing else, right?
For now.
No.
Yeah. But these two are the main ones. Okay, there are other words, but these are the main ones. So if you get these, you've got it. So here, look at the table again very quickly. Exact same thing. So I'm going to go over a little quicker than before. So if you look at this, you've got your lam, right? And then when you put it before the word, it becomes lam yaktub.
Lam yaktub, yeah.
In the dual lam yaktuba, the noon is gone. In the plural, lam yaktubu, the noon is gone. Female, lam taktub, that's fine. The sukoon is there. In the dual lam taktuba, the noon is gone. And then surprise, surprise, with the female plural, we have another problem. Lam yaktubna, it remains as it is. Okay, then it comes to second person, lam taktub. Sukoon is there. Dual lam taktuba, the noon is gone. Plural lam taktubu, the noon is gone. Everything is normal. If you're talking to one female, I would say lam taktubi, the noon is gone. From taktubina to lam taktubi. Two women, lam taktuba. And then again, surprise, surprise, the female plural, no change. Yeah, lam taktubna. Then finally, if it's I, lam aktub, and if it's we, lam naktub. Okay, so with that, we will pause there, stop there, and do review that. If we, okay, so if we look at that, just to summarize, so today we had a look at 3 weak letters. What are the 3 weak letters?
Wow, Alif, yeah.
Wow, Alif, yeah.
Wow. If we find them in a word, okay, if we find them in a word, they make the word weak, right? When it comes to the nouns, we said we have maqsoor, something ending in an alif, and we have manqus, where the final letter is removed. Okay, so that's how the words, the nouns changed. Okay, then when we looked at the verbs, we said verbs also change, and there are 2 particles that change a verb. The first is len, which is changing in the future, and it makes the verb after it mansub. And the second one is lam, which negates into the past. Okay, now last question before we go. We did negating in the past already. Who remembers what was the method there? So we've done 2 ways of negating in the past now. So we've done this, which is lam yaktub, he did not write. And there was another way of saying that as well.
Wasn't Laysa, was it?
Laysa,
Not Laysa.
That's not past.
ma,
Nah?
Yeah, good. So we said ma kataba, he did not write. Lam yaktub, he did not write. So those are two ways you could negate the past.
Same meaning, Ustad.
Same meaning.
Okay.
Okay, good. Any questions on that?
No, I'm
No,
gonna have
Ustad, Jazakallah khair.
to
I
upload
think
it. So
Okay.
we meant to pay, I think, end of the month.
Sorry?
We are meant to pay end of the month, I think.
Oh, okay. Is it 28th? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, thank you for the reminder. Inshallah. Yeah. All right, khair. In that case,
Are you going to give us more homework, Ustad? We're going to memorize this. So this is one homework.
but
Yeah.
Fazia, please. We need to have words.
No, I just don't want to get surprised. I'm just confirming here. Like, can we just memorize and
So I gave you some time to rest, and in the previous weeks we've looked at how to use the dictionary, we've looked at how to find words, and so on and so forth, right? And giving you sentences. So this week I will give you some sentences, and they will involve the manqus, the maqsoor, and the lan and the lam. So that's going to be the objective for this week.
Did you decide this just now when Fazia triggered it off?
No, I was thinking, but I hadn't quite decided where to target the homework. I was thinking maybe give you some words. I was thinking sentences, but I think sentences are the best way to get the brain really going. So we'll do sentences. Okay? Otherwise,
next week, Ustad,
you've got
next
nothing
week
to
we
do.
can do.
Otherwise, you've
Yeah,
got nothing to do. Yeah.
Ustad, we have to memorize 2 tables and then remember all this, going through this video. So I think that should be fine this week.
Yeah. I mean, the tables are easy. It's just drop the noon. That's all you've got to do.
Subhanallah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Khair. Barakallah feekum. I'll see you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Exactly.